Hey guys, just wanted to quickly show you how to install a rebuilt VANOS unit onto an M54 engine. This install will actually include years 1993 up to 2006 with the M50 engine, M52, M54, the 2.5 liter, the 2.8 liter, the 3 liter, and also the S50 from the E46 M3, as well as the S52 from the E36 M3, the 3.2 liter from the 96 to 99. But again, this install is in regards to 93 to 2006 models. So right here you can see I'm installing a Dr. VANOS rebuilt unit. It's a rebuilt unit that costs $450, but you actually ship it back and you get a $150 core charge. So when you ship it back, you're obviously going to ship back your core, but when you get yours, it actually looks very nice. They paint it so it looks pretty nice. Most of you, when you take yours off, it'll be pretty corroded. On this car, I actually don't drive this car much outside during the winter time and bad weather, so mine's actually pretty clean. I'll actually show you mine. I still have mine because I had another core that I used, but this unit specifically is one that you need to get if you don't want it to fail again. This one has the upgraded seals on it. So Dr. VANOS, I think there's some other rebuilders, but I went with Dr. VANOS. This is actually my second one that I've gotten. He rebuilds them with the upgraded seals that'll last much longer than the original ones. If you take your car to the dealership, they will not put in the unit. They're going to sell you rebuilt ones, but they're not going to put in the unit that has the upgraded seal. So be aware of that. They will charge you a lot of money. I think it's like $1,250. I think it's over $1,000 for just the unit itself. So if you're gonna get it done, you can either do it yourself or you can get an independent shop to do it for you. But definitely make sure you ask which unit they're using, if it's going to be a unit that has the upgraded VANOS seals. And I'll show you what happens when the VANOS seals go bad. So it's a pretty straightforward install. You can definitely do it yourself. I actually highly recommend you do it yourself. Honestly, just taking off the valve cover and the beauty shields and even the fan, the fan and the shroud. It's all very simple. So you can find those DIYs online, or honestly, you could even just try it yourself. It's there's really nothing tricky about pulling out those. So I've got mine here. I've got obviously the valve covers off. I wanted to show you the unit itself, but I'm about to put mine all back together. But I wanted to just kind of show you exactly what I'm doing here. So I wanted to come over here and show you just an idea of what kind of tools you'll be using. These are the tools that I'm using here. One tool that is missing is the fan clutch wrench. I can't remember how big that one is. I think it might be 35 millimeters, but it's a specialty wrench. It's actually thinner than a regular wrench that you would get from a store. So that's something that you'll definitely need to have to be able to do this install. Otherwise you'll be stuck, because it's a thinner one, and if you don't get that fan clutch off, it's not coming off. So be mindful of that. So this is this right here is the wrench that you use in conjunction with the fan clutch wrench. These openings hold the bolts on the water pump pulley. So So that'll hold it in place, and then you actually use the wrench to obviously open it up. And it is actually, to loosen it is actually clockwise. So be mindful of that. And one thing to, when you're doing that, is make sure you do not, when you're loosening it, make sure you do not break your thermostat housing. So when you're gonna, so here's the water pump pulley. The fan will be right here, and you'll have to put the wrench up in here, and you'll actually have to go clockwise, and you can potentially damage this. I've actually heard many people say they cracked it because they hit it, and it'll crack this. So be very mindful of that. I highly recommend putting something around here to make sure that you don't hit that. But usually, I will say, I haven't had any problems taking them off. And one thing to note too is not all cars will have this one that's mounted directly to the water pump. Most are going to be automatic transmissions. If your car is going to be a manual transmission, you actually don't have to worry about that. You're going to have a fan, electric fan, that sits right here in the shroud area. So just be mindful of that. Here's the parts that I took off the engine to get to it. Here's the clutch fan right here, and I'll show you real quick. Here's the nut that's on it that spins onto the water pump pulley. So that's that. Yeah, as you can see, my parts are pretty clean. As I said, I take care of this car, and whenever I work on it, I actually clean up all my parts before I put them back on. So with that said, I will let you know what are the most difficult parts of the install. Now, the first thing is, actually, I'll just show you real quick. The first one that I'll say that's difficult is the back left valve cover nut. So what I did is I actually so what you'll have to do here is I use the quarter inch breaker bar, and with an extension and a swivel, and what you'll have to do is come down over here like this and loosen it. So this is the one that's the most tricky. The rest of them, there's 15. There's what is it, 12? Actually, maybe it is 11 goes around, and then there's 4 in the center. So like I said, this back left one is going to be the one that's the most difficult. But this is what you'll use to break that open. I use the breaker bar so that I don't break I don't break the quarter inch ratchet. And let's see. The next thing is will be the this is actually the intake cam sensor. I'm sorry, the exhaust cam sensor. So this will actually be down over in here, and there's actually a harness. This harness will be pretty difficult because it's actually got these 2 push pins here. So what you'll have to do is, a lot of people kind of manhandle this and damage it. I would not do that. I would actually take your time with this one. A lot of people use like pliers and things like that. It'll damage it. I don't like damaging the car if I don't have to. So one thing to do is when you're taking it off, if you need help, I would definitely get help from someone else. But what you'll do is you'll take let's see here, I'll show you. You'll take a screwdriver. You'll have 2 of them, and you'll actually push the pins in, push them in, and then obviously then you'll pull them out. But you obviously have to push them both in at the same time and then pull it out. That's the one that's trickiest. And like I said, I've seen several people who do it, and they don't use the right tools, and they will damage it. So the nice thing about it is you do not have to take off this sensor. This is the exhaust cam sensor. You do not need to take this off when you're taking off the VANOS unit itself. The other thing that is a little difficult is this coil pack harness. This sits like this on the valve cover, and getting this thing out can be a little tricky. I actually pry these open a little bit. Just be careful, again, do the same thing. Be careful when you're prying these open. Be as gentle as you can. And it helped me get it out. I was trying to just get this whole thing out. And even on my car, was in good shape. Not much dirt or anything like that. It was difficult to get off. So once I started prying these off, I was able to wiggle it out. So this coil pack harness might be a little difficult to take off. And let's see here. The other thing is when you're actually taking off the VANOS unit. So I'll show you that this is the new VANOS here, but I'm actually gonna show you on my VANOS here. So when you're taking the VANOS unit off, you're gonna use this 8mm Allen socket. So this is the one. This is just normal. Same thing. You'll actually it's just lefty loosey. So when you open up this, just be mindful that when you're taking them off, what you'll do is be careful. It's going to happen because the seals in there are worn. Oil's going to leak out of these too. It's going to obviously leak out the most out of here. So be prepared to catch the oil that's going to leak out. It's going to leak out, and it leaks out a good amount. So be mindful of that. And when you actually once you get that off, it's actually pretty smooth sailing from there. The next thing that'll be a little difficult is I'll show you these. I'm trying to get these here real quick. So once you take off this here, what you're going to be faced with is this thing right here, this cap, and this cap actually has these seals right here will be replaced. So these will come with your VANOS unit as well, the rebuilt one. It'll come with upgraded seals as well. So this will be inside here, and what you'll do is, let's see if I can do that. So what you'll do is, once you get this cap off, you'll actually have to take these needle nose pliers, and you'll have to get the Stubby. These are the Stubby ones, because you won't have much room when the VANOS unit is on the car. So get the Stubby ones, and what you'll do is you'll have to grab the center right here and then pull them out. So they actually come out fairly easily. So you more than likely won't struggle with these, because like I said, these seals are already deteriorating. And again, when you take these off, probably more oil is going to come out. And then once you get inside of there, you're gonna see these small bolts. These are the Torx. I think it's a Torx 30. Oh man, I had one here. I don't know where it went, but so these will be inside in here. So these are only torqued to about 6 foot-pounds. Just be mindful. When you're taking these off, it's counterclockwise to tighten and clockwise to loosen. So you're obviously going to go clockwise to loosen these. Be very careful when you're loosening them, because they're obviously small and they could snap. And then obviously the other thing is, when you're reinstalling them, make sure that you torque them properly. You do not want to over torque them, otherwise you will very likely break them off. They're not very big. And I'm going to put a list of all the tools in the description for you guys, so be mindful of that. And let's see what else. One thing that I did as well is, when I was on my valve cover, my valve cover actually didn't leak at all over the years, so I never changed my valve cover gasket. So funny thing is this valve cover gasket, the old one, actually turned to plastic, and this was very, very difficult to take off. all of these. So these are the coil packs, the spark plug tunnels. There's just two of these, so it's one here and one there. And this, I did not change mine. So this was plastic, and it was very difficult to get off. Eventually I did get them out. What I did before I installed this is I actually thoroughly cleaned this valve cover gasket to make sure that I got all the oil out of these crevices, so it doesn't deteriorate the seals and make it difficult to take them out again. So I cleaned all of this. I cleaned everything, but I also cleaned that area as well. But don't be surprised if taking these valve covers off. The valve cover gasket is a little difficult. You might have to cut it. You might have to cut it out. Okay, let's see what else. I will give you some so that's the main stuff in regards to the VANOS unit. As I said, when you take off the VANOS unit, this will be in here. You do not need to take this off out of the you do not need to take that out of the old one. So when you're taking them off, there's going to be 6 10mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, there's going to be 6 here, and then there's going to be a bolt that goes here, which I believe is 13mm. So once you get those off, it'll be and you get it disconnected, and then you get the oil line off. This unit will be able to come off. It comes off pretty simply, so it's not difficult at all. That is pretty much that for the removal. As I said, when you're putting it back together, just be a little careful. You know, make sure that you torque down everything properly, and particularly these inside. You do not want to break those, because if you break it, getting them out will be very difficult. So just be mindful. So this one is the only one that is the opposite, the reverse, where clockwise is actually loosening and counterclockwise is actually tightening. So just be mindful of that. You'll also need a pick here. So like what I told you about these seals, you'll need a pick to take out the old seals and put the new seals in. So with your new VANOS unit, you will actually get this unit here. So as I mentioned, this is my original one. This is pretty clean. Most people's will be pretty dirty, grimy, and corroded. But when you get your unit, you'll get four seals. You'll get 2 seals for the oil line, and you'll get 2 small O-rings for these plugs, and that's it when it comes to that. Oh, and I'm sorry. Also, you'll get a black gasket that'll go around here at this section right here. You'll get a black gasket that goes. It's a metal gasket. Now, when it comes to the unit itself, I think I mentioned to you that the seals, you know, they go bad. If you look at this, you notice that this one is inside and that one is not. You know, this one's pretty. The new one, you won't be able to really push it down easily, but this one, you'll be able to hear it. Watch this. Oh, now it's not doing it. Oh, here we go. So I pushed it down. You can see it quickly. If I push it down, it was kind of going down by itself. Oh, it is going down. It was making a noise before, but watch, it goes right down. So that's indicative of a VANOS unit that's bad. That's where the seals are bad. And as I said, if your car's original, if it's the original unit, or if it was a unit that was replaced with a rebuilt one from BMW, honestly, many times it's not uncommon for one that only has 20,000 miles that the seals will go bad. So that's one thing that you'll definitely want to be mindful of. If you have one of those, you definitely want to replace it. The one major thing is that so I've got 2 E46s. This one did not make any noise. You'll probably read about some that make a noise. It'll sound like a marble randomly, bouncing around in the front upper part of your engine. This one did not make any noise. This one was perfectly fine, quiet, but I did lose bottom end torque, like everyone says. The car did not get good gas mileage. The gas mileage went down very, very quickly. So just be mindful of that, and also, obviously your fuel consumption will be pretty bad, and but yeah, this is an item that you have to make sure it's in good shape. Otherwise, you're gonna be just wasting gas. So just be mindful of that. That's one major thing that I would be looking out for when you buy these cars. Expect to replace it if you haven't, or if the previous owner didn't mention that it's been replaced. I think I told you, don't take it to the dealership. They won't replace it with the right one. As I said, this will cost you about $300 for the rebuilt unit. So when you get your new one, it'll come with these sensors as well. I guess these are actually probably some kind of solenoid. The new ones will come in real nice shape, so it'll actually look brand new when you get it. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that should be it. I mean, if you guys have any questions, as I said, this will give you an idea of what kind of tools you need. I'm missing the wrench, and you'll need some RTV for your valve cover gasket when you replace that. So make sure you also buy a valve cover gasket, the valve cover gasket along with the spark plug tunnel gaskets, and that is it. So I'm gonna finish putting this thing back together. As I said, I cleaned up all the parts and it's ready to go back together. So you will have to put some RTV around here and around the back where the moons are. This area here, these right here, and then the rest of it's pretty straightforward. All right. So like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. But it's a pretty simple install, and all the tools will be listed in the description. All right, guys. Good luck and happy motoring.